Hey guys, Matt Lawson here with iBCTV, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about negative self-talk and thinking errors. This is something I see a lot of. People are pretty susceptible to this, and there's a couple of reasons, well, there's a bunch of reasons why. Maybe it's the way you were raised, or some of maybe the social conditioning that you've been exposed to over the years. But there's a lot of reasons why people, can down on themselves and work against their efforts. So we all have these little thoughts. We all have these voices that bounce around in our head and doubt our abilities and worry about the future and take jabs at our self-esteem. The thing is, oftentimes they're not even based in reality. Oftentimes it's just a way of thinking that we've been conditioned to do. And I truly believe that our society, the way our society is set up, is we tend to look at the negative first. We tend to doubt first. I talk to people all the time, and it's almost weird for them to say good things about themselves. Yet, they'll say bad things about themselves all day, and they'll criticize their efforts all day long. But I say, hey, look in the mirror tomorrow morning and say something good about yourself. They'll come back to me and tell me how corny that felt. It actually feels corny sometimes for them to look at themselves and say good things. So we got to work against that. Common thinking errors that I see a lot. Black and white thinking. This is the first one. You're either all the way into something or you're done with it. So maybe this is that situation where you've done really good with your diet all week. You've been hitting your workouts, but then something happens and you fall off the wagon for a couple of days, and you're done. You can't get back on because in your mind, screw it. I can't make this happen. Because I didn't do it 100%, I'm not going to do it at all. So, I get people to come around to that gray area. What's it going to look like if you just take one small step today toward the direction that you want to go? Something is always better than nothing. And the more you can come around to thinking that, the better you can break this type of thinking. Unrealistic ideals. So this is where you compare yourself to other people based on limited information. A lot of the times when people do this, when they have this type of thinking error, they compare themselves to people that they know in their lives, family members, friends, colleagues, and they automatically assume based on what they see that they're not good enough. You feel bad based on that person that you see in front of you that you don't know all the information about. So yeah, maybe that colleague at work seems like they have their life together. They seem like they have a good relationship. They seem like financially they're very well off. They have a lot of things. It looks like they have a lot of things going on the surface, but you don't know that they're in couples counseling. You don't know that they were given a significant amount of money from one of their relatives passing away 10 years ago that they've been able to sock away and help get their life going. You just don't know. Yet you may compare yourself to that person and feel bad that you're not in the same situation based on the limited information that you have. Filtering is another one. This is where people will focus on all the bad stuff. They'll focus on all the negative ways that they look, they feel, and kind of ignore the good stuff. So, maybe this is that time when you're looking in the mirror and all you can see is the weight you haven't lost. Even though you've lost, 5 pounds, you don't see that. All you see is the clothes still aren't fitting in quite rightly. Rightly, is that a word? Clothes aren't fitting correctly, or you're still not feeling it. You still don't look in the face like you've lost the weight that you wanted to lose. And you filter out the good stuff and focus on the bad. Mind reading is another one. People do this a lot, especially when I'm working on self-esteem with people. They'll do that thing where they'll go out with friends and they'll be at a party or a bar or whatever, and they'll automatically assume that they know what the people that they're with think. They'll automatically assume that, oh, these people think I'm weird, or these people think I'm not worthy of their friendship, or whatever. And they don't really check their thoughts and their feelings. They just start to mind read and put thoughts in other people's heads that impact them, and it just doesn't work out very well. Should statements. This is another really big one. So it's a little bit different than some of the thinking errors that I was talking about earlier. or in the last slide, but these are, this can be just as damaging. So people will focus on the things that they should have done. This individual should have been fair. I should pay more attention. I should have paid more attention during that dinner. I should be in better shape. Well, these types of statements really don't do anything to help move us forward. If anything, they work against our efforts and make us feel bad and cause anxiety. Yeah, maybe you should be in better shape, but you're not. The reality of the situation is you're in the shape that you're in based on the efforts that you've put in, based on the level of attention you've given the situation. So if you feel like you could be doing better, it would be nice if you could. And that's it. Let's figure out how it could be a little bit better for you. Not that it should be. There really are no givens. There really are no givens. And these should statements kind of push you in that direction, that there should be givens in your life, that people should be fair, or whatever the situation may be. So how do we work against this stuff? How do we combat negative self-talk? Awareness is going to be definitely the first piece of this, and just understanding and recognizing that these thoughts are going to come into our head from time to time. But you should recognize that these are just thoughts. That's all these are. You have the choice of whether or not you listen to it or not. And people that, maybe focus on some of the negativity in their life have a hard time not focusing on these thoughts and not feeling bad about them. But the more you practice not listening to yourself, not listening to the bad pieces about yourself, the better off you're going to be. Then you can also dispute these thoughts, have an argument with yourself. Tell yourself, no, that's actually not true. Actually, the reality of the situation is this. I wouldn't recommend doing this in public out loud, but, you can have that argument anywhere, whenever the situation arises where you start to find those little thoughts creeping in and working against you. Lastly, look at the facts. What's the actual reality of the situation? The actual reality of some of the situations is you just don't know. You don't know what people are thinking about you. You don't know what this person has going on that's added to their success. What are the actual facts, and what are those based on? So I hope this helps. You can find out more about me at iBehaviorCoach.com, where you'll also find links to my podcast. And I'm also on Twitter at iBehaviorCoach. You can find me on Facebook as well. I do work here in the Chicagoland area, if you're interested in doing some work with me. And until next time, remember, you're only as healthy as you think you are.